Hi, first period. It's Miss Mac. I'm here with your Mice and Men Chapter 4 recap so you can check your homework. And if you need a little help doing it, you can still turn it in this week and go ahead and check out what I go over. All right, I'm actually going to just go over the homework right here with you going into Chapter 4. All right, I hope you guys all had a good weekend. All right, so here's Chapter 4. Again, you can still turn it in if you need to. Here's a link to the story if you need to, and you can always copy and paste from that. And if you want to look at my preview video to get kind of a head start, then you can. So again, this section, you're copying and pasting quotes. That means word for word from the book, like I have this one here, that support these topics or basically prove that these are true. And some of you have been doing a really good job with this. Some of you are like copying and pasting from something you looked up, like Cliff Notes or Spark Notes. So it's not actually a quote from the book, it's a quote from like online. So that I'm not giving points for that. Make sure it's from the book. Here are just some personal questions. Why are Crooks and Curley's wife treated differently from others on the ranch? And again, we talked about because of their race, because of their gender, they're often isolated. And we see how this makes them kind of mean to others. And then here's just a personal question. Who is your favorite character so far? And you can explain. And then who's your least favorite character so far? And I have had some fun answers for those. Now, question 3 was a little unique, and there wasn't a 100% right or wrong answer, but you were going to rank the characters from the most powerful to the least powerful and pick 4 of them to explain. So some of you did a really good job, but actually some of you, I wish we could have this discussion in class because some of you made me think about this a little bit differently. I did the boss for you. Obviously, he's the #1 most in charge. It's his ranch. He can hire people. He can fire people. He's a man and a white man. All right. Now, I would say I'm not going to give you like a perfect list, but I would say here are the characters I feel like who have more power. Definitely Curly. He's the boss's son. He's a man. Not only that, but he can fight pretty well. He can definitely have more power on the ranch, and we see how he uses that power against Lenny and other characters. I would say that Slim, a lot of you said that he's pretty powerful. People tend to respect him. He's very good at his job, so he's kind of an essential, necessary person. Carlson was up there, or kind of in the middle, right? He's a good worker. He shoots Candy's dog. He manages to convince Candy that his dog should be shot, so he kind of has this power over Candy, who's a little weaker. I would say that George is a little bit lower because he's a new person on the ranch, but he's a pretty good worker. Same with Lenny. Lenny's a little interesting because obviously he has a mental handicap, but he's incredibly strong. He's a really good worker, so that's his asset. Candy, older, he's physically disabled. He doesn't have his hand, doesn't have any family, so he might be more on the weaker side. And then we have Crooks. Crooks was an interesting one where people put him, again, he is the only African-American character in the novel. He's the only black guy on the ranch. So he faces a lot of discrimination and racism because of that. He is a man though, so in some ways that could put him above other characters. He's been on the ranch for a long time. So maybe that gives him more power because he's more familiar there. He's more known. So it was interesting to see where people put him. And then lastly, Curly's wife was another one. I always thought that she had not a lot of power because she's a woman and she doesn't always get to do what she wants to do. But then people pointed out like she is Curly's wife, so she has that power. She is also white, so she has that power going for her over other people on the ranch. So she does have a certain way, even though she might not always be the most powerful person, that she can kind of flex the power that she does have, whether it's flirting, whether it's because she's beautiful and she dresses nicely and is attractive. So anyway, kind of use those ideas to guide you, but there isn't a totally correct right or wrong answer. But some of them, if you put like, Lenny as #2, then I would have some questions for you. All right, guys, hope that works for you. Take care. Have a good week. Let me know if you have any questions on chapters 5 and 6 because we're finishing the book. Yay, bye. Have a good one.